Human ear. The ear is a sense organ which helps us in hearing the sounds. Now in this topic, let us understand two things. One is structure of the human ear and the other is function of the human ear. Let us first draw the human ear and understand the parts of it and see how it functions. This is structure of the ear. The ear consists of three parts. One is outer ear and middle ear and inner ear. Let's see what is called outer ear. Outer ear is from pinna to eardrum. Now from eardrum to oval window, we call it middle ear. And from oval window to the cochlea is called inner ear. So this is outer ear and middle ear and inner ear. Now let us see what this outer ear consists of and what is the function of this, and what middle ear consists, what is its function, and what inner ear consists and what is its function. One thing we have to understand is the outer ear is outside the head, which we see. So whatever we see as ear above the neck to the side of the head is outer ear. And the outer ear contains air. We can say it is hollow, so it contains air. So what it has is the ear canal. The ear canal is a tube of around 2 to 3 centimeters. So ear canal is 2 to 3 centimeters length of a tube. And it also has an eardrum, and that eardrum is a thin elastic circular membrane. It consists of, so let us make a note what eardrum consists of: thin elastic circular membrane. This is eardrum is also called as tympanum. This is also called as tympanum. This is what the outer ear consists of. So sound waves enter through outer ear. And what we see as a shape of the ear is called pinna. Now the sound waves enter here. They go through the ear canal and eardrum. And then we'll see what the middle ear consists of. So what the middle ear consists of is 3 tiny bones. They are called hammer, anvil and stirrup. These are the 3 tiny bones. Hammer, anvil and stirrup. They are called 3 tiny ear bones. So these are the ear bones. And they are attached to the oval window. Stirrup is attached to oval window, and each of these bones are linked. Hammer is linked to anvil, anvil is linked to stirrup, and stirrup is held against this oval window. Now how outer ear and middle ear are connected? Through this eardrum, because the eardrum is touching the hammer. So now once the vibrations move on, we will see the functioning later. First let us see how this ear is constructed. The third part of the thing is inner ear. So what happens inside the ear? one thing we need to remember is the inside the ear contains liquid and middle ear contains air, just like outer ear. So this inner ear is like a spiral ring which will be connected to the auditory nerve. It's a coiled tube connected through an elastic membrane over the oval window. Because this is an elastic membrane, so this coiled tube is connected to this elastic membrane of the oval window. So we will call this as, so this coiled tube is connected to the oval window through this membrane. It is filled with liquid. What this liquid consists of? It contains the nerve cells. So this liquid contains the nerve cells. Those nerve cells are sensitive to sound. So the liquid in the inside ear consists of nerve cells which are sensitive to sound. So, having understood the structure of the ear, outer, middle and inner, in the middle ear, from the outer ear sound waves enter, and in the middle ear there are 3 tiny bones which are connected to each other, and the tube that we see here, which is Eustachian tube, which is connected to the throat. The function of this tube is, it ensures that the air pressure inside is the same as that of the outside. So the air pressure inside the middle ear is the same as that of the outside the middle ear. So that is the functioning of this tube. Now let us see how this ear functions. So we'll say functioning of the ear. What happens? The sound waves enter the outer ear through pinna. It is an open space. So the sound waves are collected by the pinna and they pass through the ear canal. And fall on the eardrum. So we will just put the figure and then see how the functioning happens. And these things pass through ear canal. From the ear canal, they fall on the eardrum. Now once it is done, what happens? The sound waves have got 2 types of vibrations, compressions and rarefactions. So what these compressions and rarefactions do to the ear? When compression strikes the eardrum, what happens? The pressure outside the eardrum increases. When rarefactions strike the eardrum, the pressure decreases. So in this case, what happens? The eardrum moves. When pressure increases, the eardrum moves inwards. It actually pushes it inwards. And when pressure decreases, it pushes it outward. This is the way eardrum starts vibrating. So here what happens? Eardrum starts vibrating. And it starts vibrating back and forth rapidly. So when it is vibrating, it will go and hit the hammer. The first bone, tiny bone or ear bone of the 3 tiny ear bones in the middle ear. So eardrum vibrates and it strikes the hammer. Then hammer starts vibrating. It makes hammer vibrate and the hammer makes anvil vibrate, and then the stirrup also vibrates. So in a continuous way, anvil vibrates, and then the stirrup also vibrates. Basically, all the tiny bone starts vibrating. So the vibrations from the eardrum, based on the compression and rarefactions of the sound wave, makes all the tiny bones vibrate through the eardrum. Once this starts vibrating, the stirrup, which is in contact with the membrane of the oval window, strikes the membrane. Once it strikes the membrane, what happens? It passes on the vibrations to the liquid. Since it is in touch with the membrane, then what happens? Liquid starts vibrating. Once liquid starts vibrating, it sets electrical impulses in the nerve cells. Because liquid contains the nerve cells. Once there is a force, then the nerve cell starts electrified. So this sets the electrical impulses. Now these electrical impulses carried by the auditory nerve. So liquid starts vibrating. What happens then? Electrical impulses get set in nerve cells. These electrical impulses are carried through nerve cells to auditory nerve, which will go to the brain, and we hear sound. Then what happens? We hear the sound. How the brain interprets these electrical signals as sound. We will retour this functioning of ear. What happens when the sound waves collected by pinna in the outer ear goes through the ear canal and then reaches the eardrum. So when the compressions of the sound wave touches the eardrum, it increases the pressure of the air over there, and then the eardrum moves inward. Rarefactions makes the eardrum move outward. So that is how the vibrations of the eardrum takes place. Once the eardrum vibration happens, because it is in touch with the tiny bones which are interlinked, the tiny bones start vibrating like hammer, then anvil, then stirrup. Now stirrup is in touch with the membrane of the oval window. So the membrane starts vibrating, so liquid vibrates. The liquid inside the inner ear starts vibrating. Once liquid starts vibrating, their liquid contains nerve cells. So the nerve cells, the vibration sets in electrical pulses in the nerve cells, and auditory nerve in that will carry these pulses to the brain. And the brain interprets these pulses into the sound, and then we hear the sound. So basically it is recreated. The sound is recreated based on the sound waves compressions and rarefactions, and it is carried over as vibrations up to the brain, and then we hear the sound.